One particular elephant had caught the attention of the people in the park. When she gave birth, she surprised everyone. A few years ago, a strange event occurred in the wildlife of Africa. This incident took place in the Amboseli National Park, a large expanse of land situated in the south of Kenya. Across the grassy landscape lives a variety of wild animals. Spotted cheetahs use the space to stretch their legs, and striped zebras are free to wander around to their heart's content. It is easy to identify the looming giraffes that rival the impressive height of the native trees. In spite of all this, the park is best known for its elephants, which are free to walk across the land. This site is a popular attraction for tourists who have the opportunity to get close to the herds of gigantic creatures. To this day, there are almost 2,000 elephants roaming around the park. Though there are countless organisms in the world, African elephants take the crown as the largest land animals. Not only do they have a very distinctive size, but they also have lots of other impressive physical attributes, such as their strength and endurance. Nevertheless, there are also some downsides to their impressive body. For example, they need a lot of food to maintain their weight, and their incredible appetites can only be satisfied by constant feeding throughout the day. Another distinctive thing about these creatures is that they have the longest gestation period among any other living animal. Human women may only carry their child for 9 months, but for elephant cows, pregnancy can last up to 22 months. According to scientists, this lengthy pregnancy is essential for healthy brain development. As well as the size of their limbs, the brains of elephant fetuses require even more time to fully develop. This is not the only unique thing about elephant pregnancies. After a mother has given birth, it takes almost a decade before she can have another child. Unfortunately, this recovery period poses a problem. It's hard to save elephants, which are an endangered species, since they can only have one child once in a decade. On the bright side, this means that every elephant pregnancy is considered to be very special. In Amboseli National Park, there was a pregnant elephant who had caught the eye of the workers. Paru was already a mother. She had given birth several years before, and her calf had grown up to be strong and healthy. Because the calf was a female, it naturally became very close to Paru. Among elephant communities, the females are incredibly loyal to one another. Male elephants are content with being by themselves, wandering around alone for most of their solitary lives. However, female elephants are born with the need to socialize and bond with other family members. Female calves spend a significant part of their lives with their mothers, more so than any other animal in the wild. In fact, these females can be bonded for several decades. Nora Nijireni works for the Amboseli Trust for Elephants. When the researcher was asked to explain the behavior of African elephants in the park, she said, "Talking about family, a family consists of cousins, grandmothers, sisters who stay together for the rest of their lives. The oldest female is the boss of the family. There is no papa in the family." Elephants are highly intelligent creatures, and their complex emotions are a hot topic for animal researchers. They are one of the few in the animal kingdom to mourn for their deceased, and they have distinct ways of demonstrating their feelings of joy and happiness. One of their most notable characteristics is their fervent love for family members, especially a mother's love. Paru and her daughter were inseparable. Since birth, the sweet-tempered calf would follow her mother around, never straying too far. This may have been typical behavior for elephants, but there was something special in the bond between these two. Eventually, Paru became pregnant again. Not only were the park workers delighted, but wildlife conservationists too. By the looks of it, Paru was on her way to have another complication-free delivery. Even though Paru was only one African elephant, this still bode well for the population. Throughout Paru's pregnancy, her child stood by her side. It was as if the little elephant was excited by the arrival of her new sibling. When the long-awaited day finally came, Paru's daughter watched close by. There were several park workers at the scene, ready to help out the elephant cow in any way that was needed. Paru was a little bit overdue. Initially, the workers had high hopes for Paru's offspring, but after some time, a few of them got scared that there was something wrong with this pregnancy. They had already seen what Paru looked like pregnant, and the workers couldn't ignore how her belly seemed more swollen when compared to the previous time. The 39-year-old mother elephant was calm. She could not have looked any more ready to welcome her new child into the world. The birth of a baby elephant can range from a few hours to a few days, depending on a variety of factors. It turned out that Paru needed no more than 1 day. Once the news spread around the park that this wild pregnant elephant finally gave birth, people were in high spirits. However, this pregnancy wasn't just like any other. Much to the workers' surprise, Paru delivered something that hasn't been seen in 40 years. During March 2018, Paru gave birth to twins. She gave birth to 1 boy and 1 girl. Everyone who stood around the mother elephant and her newborns was stunned. In Amboseli National Park, the last time a mother elephant gave birth to 2 calves at the same time was in 1980. This was also the only time that twins were born at the park. Estella was the name of the matriarch. Her miracle children were born during the summer and were named Equinox and Eclipse. Twins are already pretty uncommon among humans, but according to the Kenya Wildlife Service, they're even rarer when it comes to elephants. Taking into consideration the dwindling number of African elephants in the wild, the idea of mothers producing more offspring is definitely a pleasant one. However, conservationists are aware that the survival rate for sibling animals born at the same time is quite low. After they were born, the twins were soon integrated into an elephant herd. At the time of their joining, there were around 40 elephants in that group. Much like their older sister, these twins grew to be inseparable from their mother. However, if the young twins were to stray a little further than usual from Paru, their older sibling would always follow them around. Many would consider Paru's first daughter to have taken on a motherly role herself. Whenever their mother would roam the land in order to graze, the siblings would huddle together. In fact, whenever Paru physically distanced herself from her children, they would end up getting closer to each other. There were several moments when the young ones spent their energy playing around, while their older sister watched them patiently. "You can see them moving together in 3, said Kenneth Ole Nashu. He is the senior warden of Amboseli National Park and is one of the many people who has been specially assigned to protect Paru and her family. Many of the workers at the park have watched Paru grow into the mature elephant she is now. Many would state that she was born to be a mother. It was fortunate that Paru was in good health for both of her pregnancies and that no complications have arisen since. It's as if she has always been supported by good luck." The health of all the elephants on their lands has been the priority of Amboseli National Park for quite some time. The birth of these twins has made the workers even more sensitive to the potential risks and dangers that could befall the wild animals. Even so, the wardens have been able to effectively deal with the issues of poaching by merging their efforts with the local people of Nairobi. Hundreds of locals are now involved in the project. Concerns for wildlife conservation is at the heart of many rural communities. Is the protection of nature something you care about? This is a very unique scenario in terms of conservation, particularly in the elephant population, stated Kenneth. Nevertheless, Paru's calves carry the same resilient spirit as their mother. So far, the young twins have demonstrated a vivacity that has impressed the conservationists. This love for life is clear among the visitors, but also to the people who have heard of their story through social media. Let us hope that these elephant calves have a bright future ahead of them. Let me know what you thought of the story in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, remember to give a like and to subscribe for more content just like this. Don't forget to turn the notification button on. I'll see you in another video soon.